Boys and girls, welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Starting from Scratch podcast with me, John Kleisch, on episode number 42. If this is your first time tuning in, really appreciate you doing so. To get you caught up to speed, like what is this podcast about? I am documenting my journey from starting from scratch as a beginner in commercial real estate, which has been about 10, 11 months now. I've been documenting it the whole way through the thick and thin, the good, the bad, the ugly. And currently, as it sits, I own two different buildings in the Phoenix metro area. One is an industrial building and the other one is an office building. I have literally making episodes a lot about each one. I feel like it's best to go back and start from scratch, or start from the beginning, not from scratch, to get caught up until where we are at today. If you didn't want to do that and you wanted to listen to today's podcast as your first one, cool. Let's do it. Welcome again, all you beginners. So, it's funny here, a lot to go over in this podcast. Every week I'm like, oh boy, I'm not going to have anything to talk about. And then I start thinking about what I want to talk about. And then it changes 2 or 3 times, 4 times over, because where I am at right now, everything is just moving so rapidly that it's hard to keep up. The other thing, major announcement, I am going to be gone out of town for 2 whole weeks. I'm bringing the family back to Chicago. So there will be no podcasts for the next 2 weeks, and that is why this one is getting recorded now. I'm actually recording this on Sunday because we leave on Tuesday. So hopefully this gets uploaded. I'm going to do a set to upload type of deal. Never done that before, or actually I have done it once and it didn't work out. So fingers crossed that it actually does work out that way. I could get this thing uploaded and you guys aren't going to worry about not getting 2 podcasts over the next couple weeks. So grand is grand. Guy moved in. Everything is copacetic. I pretty much forgot that I owned that place, which is fantastic because if you know, it took up most of my time for a long time. There was a couple of things here and there. Swamp coolers were leaking, got those fixed. There was some electrical issue, got those fixed. We're rocking now. We are rocking. We have been all Thunderbird, pedal to the metal, rocking and rolling on that place. So as you know, I'm not very familiar with leasing up office space. This is all new to me. I am starting from scratch on office space and co-working, executive suites, salon suites, and everything like that. And I've been drinking through a fire hose, learning very, very rapidly. 2 weeks ago, I was very nervous about getting any clients at all. And now I literally am getting so many leads and I don't know what to do with them. I had 4 appointments or 5 appointments total. I got 4 verbal yeses, 1 signed contract already. I'm expecting the other ones to get signed here any day now. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 people have got signed up last week. And after doing some quick recapping on it, I'm like, holy cow, wow. Getting 4 in 1 week, that's pretty good. We are running a crazy deal here too, where I'm giving the first month or the first 2 months, depending, for $199, right? That's like my teaser rate to get everybody into the door, and then bumping them up to what I thought was market rent. But interestingly enough, the first couple leads I had, they were all looking for offices for $250, and I'm like, dude, we're gonna go broke here. I forget exactly what our average is, but we need to average something like $580 or $600 an office at 100% capacity to break even, to give you an idea. So that wasn't gonna fly, and I was nervous, going, oh boy, what's the market saying to me here? But I got more aggressive with our deals. I got more aggressive with meeting people out there and actually showing them the place. The feedback that I'm getting is awesome. It's a very unique building. If you follow me on Instagram, you would know what it looks like. So shameless plug, follow me on Instagram. There are pictures all up and down there. There's videos, there's walkthroughs so you can see the place. It definitely has character. It's in an older folks part of town, but everyone that's walked it has just felt like a little bit, they've even mentioned it. Wow, this building has, it's got some, I think they've even said the word character, and I don't even know another word that I could use to describe something like that, but it's got a feeling to it when you walk in there. It's unique. It is a little bit older, and it does not feel like a typical office. So I'm going to embrace that and run with it, right? And so that was a great week overall. I was very excited. I'm renting anywhere from these offices from $800 all the way down to $400. I'll go over my list. I got a claims adjuster that's moving in on Monday. The second person that wanted to lease was a caregiving company that does like senior care placement, I imagine. They're renting out my conference room for $800. The other person was a photographer. Oh, this is my favorite story ever, but I'm going to go back into this. We'll just mention it now. We are getting, they're getting like the old copy room for $700 per month. And then I have some auto broker that is leasing a medium sized office for $700 per month. So I was ecstatic. I was like, this is crazy. This is awesome. We're going to hit our numbers and everything is going to be great. And then today on Sunday, I had a lady's like, hey, I do nails. And I'm like, okay, cool. Sounds good. Doesn't really fit with what everyone else is. But, when I've talked to John Troutman about the deal, he had a bunch of salon suites and stuff like that. I think I touched on this in the last video. I'm a big fan of it. I like it. The model's awesome. I know people that own them. It does really well. It's resistant to any kind of economic things. Like, people always are going to be getting their haircuts and stuff like that, right? AI is not going to really touch that business quite yet, right? People need their haircuts done by their barbers and their eyebrows and their hair extensions and tattoos and all of that type of stuff is going to be around for a while. And the beautiful thing about them is they pay a lot of money for a small space. Now, I don't understand why that is. I haven't really figured that out. But if these salon suites they're paying, this lady tells me, so let me get back to the story here. Meeting up this lady here, I'm walking her through how much space do you need, blah, blah, blah. I show her a small office. I show her a big office. She goes, okay, cool. I like the bigger ones. We're walking through and she goes, okay, I like this one here. Now, how much is it? And I'm like, $750 a month. I'm like raising the prices. And she goes, what? I go, $750 a month. And then she's like, man, well, I got like 4-5 friends that do nails and tattoos and hair extensions and makeup and this and that. Do you have more room? I was like, yeah, bring them all through. They're like, all right, I'm going to give out your number and you're going to get blown up. She goes, your prices are insanely cheap. She was telling me that she's been looking around and she couldn't find a big room like this for less than $375 a week. It's $375 a week. And I'm doing that math in my head. Shame on me, I can't do it right now. What is it? $750, is that $1,500 a month, right? So we're about half. And I couldn't believe it. And I was like, you know what, lady, that sounds a little bit crazy. So I'm like, whatever. I said, hey, I'm going out of town next 2 weeks here. Here's my number. Text me. And if you want to get in now, I can get you in, but I got to, get out of town. Then packing up the place or locking up the place, I immediately call Mo Brand. Shout out Mo Brand. I don't know if you're listening to this or not. I hope you are, but I got to send you this podcast if you're not. He's my friend that does salon suites. I call him up and he was like, bro, for sure you're undercharging. These people are used to paying an arm and a leg, blah, blah, blah. That industry's on fire. The rent has increased so much. I'm surprised that people are even able to operate in their businesses. His wife is a hairdresser that used a salon suite. She used their salon suites. So they're very, very well versed in the business. So I was like, Mo, I need some help, bro. I need you to come by here and take a look at this office and let me know what you think specifically from a salon suites perspective. So I got a little master class on salon suites, and I actually know quite a bit about them already because I was really close to buying one. We made an offer, it got verbally accepted, and then the deal died out for a lot of different reasons. But this is something that I've been looking into for a long time, and it just makes a lot of sense. Now, the main drawback to salon suites is that most people, they go out and then rent a big vanilla box space. They will go out and trench all of the plumbing and install all of the drains and the water lines and the shampoo basins and the sinks and everything like that. And then they still have a lease on this place. And then so they're the tenant, and then they go ahead and chop the building up into little tiny units and then rent those out. It's kind of like a master lease on an Airbnb type of deal if you're a real estate guy. So the best part about commercial real estate is not being a tenant, it's about owning the building itself. So this is kind of the dream scenario where we could get this place turned into a salon suites, meaning haircuts, eyebrows, extensions, braids, nails, makeup, massage, tattoo, stuff like that. And not only do we get that insane cash flow, we're going to get the benefit of the valuation of that building too. The valuation of this building is going to freaking skyrocket. We thought those numbers looked good with Regis. And I'm not counting on getting double the rent, not counting on pulling 20 G's out of this place. But say if I was able to get a 15% bump or a 50% bump, maybe a 75% bump in rent, and we were not getting $9,000, we were getting 13, 14, and then I'm getting 2 from the other side. It cost me 10. These are cash flow numbers that are straight from grand, that $3,500 to $5,000 a month. That's a lot. That's a lot, in my opinion. For a guy like me, that's a lot of cash flow to get out of a building. And if you're getting those types of numbers, now I guess I could quickly do some math here. And everything here, I haven't even done the numbers yet because I wanted to wait to talk to Mo to see how accurate everything would be. But if I just, I know it was like $8,700 is what we were going to get from everything is offices, if my pricing was mildly correct. So let's just multiply that by 1.5. So 50% increase, that's 13,000 plus the 2,000 I'm getting from the other side. And then next year that goes up to like 2,150. So we'll just leave it at that. Call it $15,050 times 12. That's $180,000. It's going to cost us quite a bit here to operate this building, but not 50%. I know it'll probably cost us 40% to run that building just off of what I know here off the numbers. So it's going to be 72 grand minus 18600. You're talking, wow, $108,000 of NOI. That's a lot. Let's see what that comes out to divided by a cap rate. I'll put the cap rate a little bit higher. I'll put it at 8. Okay, so it puts it at $1.354 million worth of value. Now, what I just realized in doing these quick calculations, that valuation is a lot less than I thought because the expenses are much higher on this building. Grand, we barely have anything. We're doing insurance and taxes and a few CapEx things for the roof and the ACs and things like that. Our expenses are squat. Here they're expensive. We're paying for utilities. We're paying for Wi-Fi. We're paying for cleaning. We're paying $1,000 HOA. So that really gets eaten up. But the cash flow is still there, so that's pretty cool. The same amount of cash flow, which is really good for me. And guys, dude, we bought this building for $630,000. We put less than $250,000 into it of remodel and carrying costs and everything like that. So that's a pretty hefty profit. We're looking at $500,000. Sign me up for that. That's cool. I like that. That makes me feel really, really, really good. So overall, I'm stoked. I don't think these numbers are that wildly off that I could get 50% more for getting these salon suites going. And a big concern initially was retrofitting every room with plumbing, drains, and a sink. Well, couple things. A, not every room needs that. Not every room is going to be a hairdresser that needs a shampoo bowl to wash clients' hair. Like, again, I've named them off plenty of times. I don't think I have to again. There's plenty of other salon suite type of businesses that do not need a sink or a shampoo bowl in their office. However, I walked around today, about 3 offices that have plumbing on the other sides of that wall. So getting a drain line, getting water lines there would not be bad if we had to do that. However, after talking to Mo, what a lot of offices do, I sounded like I was from New York there for a second. A lot of offices, what they do, instead of running all of the drain lines out to individual rooms, they have one room where everybody gets their shampoo bowl. So for us, we could turn the break room, which was a negative room to begin with anyways, or not negative room, it was a non-revenue producing room anyways. There's plumbing in there already from the kitchen and the bathroom. We can easily tie into that existing plumbing, put 6 different shampoo bowls in there, and then people are getting their haircuts in their private suite. They walk down the hall, bada boom, bada bing. They get their shampoo done in their little personal shampoo basin, and boom, washed up hair, boom, back to the private suite. So that's a real possibility as well on top of this all. So very excited about that. We have these big rooms that could, if this lady, I mean, based on what this lady was telling me and what Mo was telling me, $1,500 for a big office. Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 huge offices that are massive salon suites. The rest of them are like 100 to 150 square feet, which is like a normal salon suite, I would like to say. So those might be more like $1,000. But I was planning on getting $500 for those small offices. So if you're telling me I can get 1,000 and I can get 1,500 for a big office, ooh, wee. Yes, sir. I like that. Yeah, buddy. Huh? And on top of it, too, Mo was telling me that on these big ones, if, say, he will let people sublease it out or bring in a suite mate, is what it's called in the industry. So a lot of people have a suite mate to help, like a roommate, right? They pay half the rent, you split it, bada boom, bada bing. Instead of paying $1,500, you're paying $750. Everyone's happy, right? The landlord's happy because they have a tenant that's paying them $1,500 for their room. And what Mo was telling me was that it's being more common that salon suite owners are trying to squeeze these guys out and get more money out of them and say, hey, if you're sharing your suite, it's not $1,500, it's $1,800 or $1,900. So Mo is picking up a lot of clients or tenants rather from these buildings of people that are trying to increase the rent on their suite mates. So maybe that's a trend that's going to be ongoing. Maybe that's something that the tenants will, that's where they put their foot down and say, hey, enough's enough. Either way, I like it. If you're telling me I can get $1,500 for a room that I would gladly rent for $750 and thought that was a killer deal, yeah, this is going to work out really well. So I know for salon suites that the decor is really important, like the overall vibe, the feeling to the place is really important. So we are going to need to put a little bit more emphasis. There we go, John. Come on, you can speak. Emphasis on the decor and everything like that. So maybe hiring somebody or speaking with somebody who has that extra talent, because it ain't your boy on this side of the mic. You don't want me decorating anything. So I have no problem doing that, especially now, seeing as though this building could be a big, big producer. For a while there, after running the numbers, it was pretty bleak. It was looking like cash flow was going to be about $1,000 a month at 100% rent rate with no vacancy, and we all know that's impossible. So we were looking at basically breaking even on this thing for a while. But I also think that renting the pricing for my offices was probably a touch low. We could probably bump those up by 25%. However, again, I said it, I think 3 or 4 times on this podcast right now. If you're telling me I can get double the rent and really not do that much more work, yup, that sounds good. I like that a lot. And then I can increase that building by, like double the value that I bought it at, but increase the equity by $500,000. $500,000. That sounds really cool. I like talking in million. When you have to use the word million in the numbers that you're talking about, I like that. And even if it's $500,000, $250,000, $500,000, that's what we're starting to. I like that. That's good. And then maybe one day, here soon, multiple $1 million profit deals will be the standard, which in due time, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the really exciting news on Thunderbird. Unfortunate timing that I find this out about 36 hours prior to me leaving the state for 14 days. But needless to say, it'll give me time to research, to think. Hopefully I can meet Mo there tomorrow. So over this entire trip, I can completely change my mindset and figure out what I need to do when I get back and really, really hit that ground running. But boy, oh boy, I can tell you that 6 hours ago, I met this lady up 6 hours ago. I feel 20, 30 pounds lighter already, just knowing that this building can be a huge, big time producer for me. I'll tell you what, that is just a huge breath of fresh air. For a while there, I would say for the last 6 months, this building has felt like a weight around my neck trying to drag me down, as well as grand. But that just shows, sticking in the game, perseverance. As bad as it gets, as hard as it is to keep going and paying attention and keep on doing the activities, meeting people, getting out there, doing everything. That is how I learned all of this, right? It all is just from in-person experience. Now, a lot of mistakes were made, a lot of money was wasted to the tune of $250 a day. We burned 6 months of time trying to lease this place to tenants that probably weren't even really out there to begin with. So, I mean, golly, at $250 a day, that's 7,500 bucks a month times six, that's $45,000. $45,000 lesson that we learned. However, I'm glad to pay it because if this truly does work out, and I really think it will, but when this deal actually works out, I mean, office is so soft right now. This would be incredible. This could be a little bit niche, a little bit of a niche right here, buying these office buildings with the appropriate zoning to do these types of businesses would be fantastic because we could scoop these things up. I mean, nobody's buying these types of offices. We probably could have got this thing for cheaper if we wanted to. So that is very exciting. I love it. Finally, some good news. We're moving in the right direction. We're getting leases signed. The potential rent has just increased dramatically, which means this guy can sleep better at night, which is what I want to do desperately here. The last year has been pretty brutal on the stress levels. So peeling back that stress, breathing a little bit easier would be fantastic. And then ultimately putting some more money in my pocket in the net worth column, and the cash flow problem is just pretty much a dream situation. So things are going good. I can't wait. Get this building stabilized and then boom, get out there and buy some more buildings, because the more I do this, the more I enjoy it, the more fun it is. And again, the more money that I make. And honest to God, that's why I do this. I don't do this for my health. I don't do this just because it's fun. I do this because I want to make money, and I want to make a large sum of it, or large sums of money, because I think that is fun, and that's what I want to do. So, boys and girls, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for tuning in. Guys, I strongly encourage you to follow me on Instagram, john.kleisch. I am posting videos on there. I already posted a video on, oh, shoot, you know what? I didn't even get back. Let's hold on. We got to go back. I completely forgot one story that reminded me. The Instagram post that I made was about a different person that came and viewed the space for their photography studio. Interesting. I showed her some different offices, and she's like, oh, the size is good, but it's just a little bit short. Do you have anything longer? And then I was like, I do have a long room. Let me show you this one. And this was the copy room. It's a very, very bizarre room. It is very thin. It's like maybe 12 foot wide by like 22 feet long. It's in a weird spot in the middle of the office. It has two doors. I didn't even put this into our prospective numbers for any kind of revenue generating. Or did I talk about this? Honestly, I don't even know. Let's talk about it anyways. And if I did, whatever, I'm an idiot. You guys can just skip this podcast and go to the next one. So that was not even in our calculations at all. We're going to get $700 a month out of it, which is an extra $8,400 a year. Which is just awesome, right? All I got to do is install a door that I found in the storage closet, and then I got to build a little wall and install a door, and then boom, that way she gets her own little private studio. It doesn't break up the office in a very weird way at all. Oh, and the other benefit is there's another weird office that's like in a hallway to that room. So now what I can do is build another wall and put a door there. And then one wall blocks off that office too. So instead of that being a stinker hallway office that I could probably rent for, didn't even make it on the list because I was like, I don't even know how I can rent this thing. It's a hallway. But now it's its own office. I could easily put, even if it's not a salon suite person, I could get $500 for someone to put an office there. So it helps break up the office a little bit. It helps increase the rent that we can get from a space that was just non-revenue generating to begin with, and it increased the rent that we can get. Now I can probably get $1,000 for that area from a salon suite person. So then if that ends up being that photographer, if not, it could go to a salon suite. That's a huge salon suite. We could probably break that thing up into two. And really get that thing to hum. So that's an extra, even if we sign with that one lady, that's 700, and then 1,000, that's $1,700 that we basically pulled out of nowhere. So let's call it $1,200 increase, because I could have probably rented that office for something. No, let's call it $1,300 a month times 12 is $15,600. Let's divide it by, I don't even know what salon suites trade at. Call it an 8 cap. That's $195,000 of equity, of value added to that building, just because. And then what does that cost me? I don't know, $2,000, $1,000 per door install. Come on, baby. Those numbers are crazy. Let alone the cash flow, the $1,700 a month that you're going to be making. Obviously, they're going to be spending something on electric. So call it $1,200 actually to your net every month on cash flow. That's cool. That's a lot of money. That's $14,400 if I'm not mistaken. So that's a lot of money right there. $14,400. Your boy can do math. Look at that. So yeah, guys, awesome. So, not sure if I told that story already. If I did, my apologies. It's a bad habit of mine. If not, I'm glad I snuck it in there, because we were about to do the outro here. But now I can get back to the outro, ladies and gentlemen. As I was saying, follow me on Instagram. I took a cool video of that whole space and explained everything there. That way you can actually see what I'm talking about for that specific story. Follow me on Instagram. Guys, if you're listening to this, or this is your first time, hit pause and go leave me a review, guys. You just hit that 5-star button. You don't even have to write anything. If you wanted to write something, I would be forever indebted to you. That would mean the world. I love seeing the reviews. I love that there are people that are watching or listening to this podcast and sharing it with your friends, right? So if you're listening to this and you liked it or didn't like it or thought it was terrible, but you think that somebody else would like it, oh, guys, please send it to your friend. There's some buttons in the podcast area. It's got a square with an arrow. You hit it, and then you send message, and you click the person that you think would like it, and then you send, and then you let me know. You message me and say, John, I shared your podcast with my friend, and you're awesome. And I'll say, oh my God, you're the best. Thank you very much. Also, guys, the video podcasting is new. I did record everything on the past on video, so maybe I got to go through and upload everything. But if you do prefer to watch them, you can watch them on Apple now. You can watch them on Spotify. I am not on YouTube video platform yet, but I am on the YouTube podcast. I don't know if you can watch it there. Irrelevant. Check that out if you like the videos. Now that I'm doing that, I could do more screenshots or screen sharing of albums and numbers and calculations, so I can show you guys all of that behind the scenes stuff as well. That will be fun. And other than that, I'm starting to ramble again. It's a 27-minute podcast. That's crazy how this one went so long, but let's get out of here. I got to start packing for my trip, and you got other things to do here. Probably start meal prepping for the week and doing your laundry. So, boys and girls, really appreciate you tuning in. I will miss you greatly over the next 2 weeks. I don't know what you're going to do without me. You can go back and maybe re-listen to your favorite episodes to keep your routine down so you don't lose that John Kleisch charisma that you all love so much. Starting to ramble again. Let's just end it here before we go 45 minutes. Boys and girls, really appreciate you tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one. In the meantime, take her easy.